Hello everyone, here's a look at the telephones I have set up in the house as of May 30th, 2026. Over here in the workroom, I have two VTech 5.8 GHz DSS phones. The one on the left is the 5881 with a green backlit display, which I just got recently this month. And I have to say, it's a pretty nice phone. Very iconic, and it took me forever to find one of these because they are typically very expensive when they come up. And they're also just pretty rare. But I really like this one. And here's one I got last year. This is the 5831. It's basically the same thing minus the answering machine. And it has a few differences in the button arrangements. Overall, I do really like this one as well. And this is the white or blue-white or light blue or whatever you want to call it, backlit display version. Oh yeah, and the 5881 is on line 2, and the 5831 is not plugged in yet, but it will soon be on line 1. On the other side of the room, I have a Panasonic KXTG 6841. And I got this brand new in the box in May 2024. And it's one of my favorite Panasonic phones because this is the first phone I ever used and actually intrinsically loved for what it was as a phone instead of a tool to use to talk to people. I liked it for that too, of course. But back around, I don't even know, like 2014 or something, my parents got this system, and it was the first telephone that I ever enjoyed messing around with. I had so much fun with the ringtones and voice paging and all kinds of stuff like that. Or intercom, that's what it was, intercom. But anyway, I'm not sure where the handset is for this thing right now. It's somewhere. But I guess that's about it for this one. And then over here I have next to a huge number of AC adapters. Jeez. I have the Uniden DECT 1580. This was my first ever Uniden cordless telephone. And I believe it was my first ever telephone thrift store find. Yeah, it was. This was something I found in May 2022. Wow, 4 years ago. Wow, okay. And it's currently running on a battery from a handset I found just last year in that same thrift store. The battery was made in 2008 and still works perfectly. Well, not quite perfectly, but it still holds a charge for a good 5 or 6 days. And it can take at least 4 hours on speakerphone. So it certainly works well enough for me. Then in the bedroom, I have the Uniden DWX207. This is one of my that was not me, by the way, that was the floor. This is one of my favorite cordless phones of all time. It sounds amazing on speakerphone and talk mode, both incoming and outgoing audio. It is waterproof and fully submersible. It feels like an absolute tank. It's just indestructible. It's probably the only cordless phone, or at least most Uniden waterproof phones, this one included, are the only cordless phones that can ever withstand the old Western electric phones in terms of their robust build. And it's just a really nice phone to use. It's got the orange backlight, keys that respond instantly when you can press the right button. All the features I'd want in a good phone, and it works very nicely. I got this one, and I think it was mid-June of 2022. And this was the first waterproof phone in my collection. It didn't come with the belt clip, but I have another one of these green DWX207s with the belt clip. And actually, I think I forgot to say that it was the DWX207 when I first came over here, so there's that info now. And it's not sitting in the bathroom right now because I've been cleaning out the bathroom. Then over here, all on the floor for some reason, I have 3 cordless phones. There is one VTech, green backlit 5820, which I got along with the 5881 base earlier this month, and 2 Panasonic KXTG 680S handsets, which I got at the thrift store earlier this month. One of these is going to go in this bedroom, and the other one I'm not sure yet. I really like all 3 of these phones. The 5820 has a slightly clearer sounding speakerphone on the incoming side than the Panasonics, but I've noticed sometimes the full duplexity of the 5820's speakerphone isn't quite there. Sometimes my voice can get cut off when audio from the other side is really loud, whereas on the Panasonics, usually they work very nicely as duplex speakerphones, fully duplex speakerphones. And then, of course, the Panasonics have my favorite classic ringtones on there. The 5820 did not come with its belt clip, but the KXTG 680s did. And then over here, I have the Cortelco 2500. Oh, that must be the KXTG 680 that goes on the base in the other room. Okay, good. It's out of charge, unfortunately. Anyway, this is the first telephone I ever bought for my collection. It was assembled in the USA, has a nice classic sounding ringer, which I actually had to fix because I think it got slightly damaged in shipping. But the damage was just a permanent magnet had gotten slid over in the mechanism. And this is just a very, very well-made telephone. It works really nicely. I don't know if it's quite as sturdy as the old Western Electric phones, but it certainly is among the sturdiest in my collection. And next to it here, I have plugged in a Bell Phones by Northwestern Bell Phones. I believe the model is 77230-4, and not plugged in a Uniden TCX 905. The Bell Phones thing is a caller ID box with a speakerphone. And for what it is, that speakerphone is fantastic. It's also got a neat old office phone sounding ringtone. And here is a Midland WR300 weather radio, one of 2 radios I always keep in my bedroom, apart from my other radios set up in the other room. And then finally over here next to my Radio Shack 12250, the other weather radio I keep in the bedroom at all times, I have a Cortelco. What is the model on this thing? 615021-VOE-21M. Corded trimline telephone. And it's in kind of a bizarre spot on top of a plush bee right now. Because the normal bedside wall mount is currently occupied with a phone that's not working. There's nothing seriously wrong with it, I just have to take care of it. But I wanted to have a good corded phone near the bed. And this is certainly not the best corded phone, but certainly a good one. As you can see, one of the backlight diodes burned out a couple years ago. But I really like the button arrangement on this thing. The mutant radial buttons are at angles, so when you hold the phone, your thumb can just press it nicely. It's got 13-number memory, a 3-position volume control switch, which is kind of hard to use, but on the lowest level, it goes much quieter than any of my other corded phones, so that's nice. It's got a flashing light for the ringer, which is good because I always keep the ringer turned off on this, since it only has on and off settings, and when it's on, it is among the most loud, shrill, brain-piercingly loud ringers out of any of my corded phones, including the Uniden Loud and Clear bass units. So, something really interesting to me that I found out about this thing recently is that it was actually made by Jwin, the like bedside alarm clock, radio, and iPod dock company. And overall, I'd say it's a decent phone, but like I said, it's not the best made phone that I've used. I got it on Home Depot's website in May 2021. So 5 years ago, wow. Okay. And I think I forgot to say when some of the other phones were gotten, so let me go do that. I got this thing in early June 2020, also on Home Depot's website. And this in, I think it was June or July 2022 on Mercari. And with these down here, this one, the VTech, came from eBay. And like I said, the Panasonics came from the thrift store. And then finally, this one came from Mercari. And downstairs, on the table with the fiddle leaf fig, I have my new VTech i5801. Just got this today. And it was supposed to come with the 5881 base. Originally in my order, I was sent the 5820 handset in place of this one, unintentionally by the seller. So they actually sent this out for free and let me keep the 5820 or 5820, which was really nice. So here it is. I really like this thing. And this is on line 2. All the phones in the bedroom that I showed, except for the 5820, are on line 1. And the 5820 is on line 2. And then coming over here to this table with a really neat lamp that my mom found in a thrift store one time. We have 2 phones, one of which is this Ooma. I forget what the handset itself is called. I think it's the HD something. Personally, this phone is a terrible phone, but it's an interesting one, at least, and it's an extra one for the Ooma line 2, so I have it down here. And next to it is this Panasonic KXTG 680B, which I got, I think July of last year. And it did come with the belt clip. And it is, of course, registered to the KXTG 6841 base upstairs. And, of course, it's on line 1. The Ooma I got along with the Ooma base unit, of course, in, I think, May or June of last year. I was originally given it by my grandmother's cousin in hopes that I could set it up for my grandmother, but when it was revealed that her apartment building doesn't support the type of Wi-Fi port that it needs, I asked if perhaps I could keep this for myself, and my grandmother's cousin said sure. He wasn't using it anymore, so I now have my own second phone line, my own personal home phone line, for which I am very grateful. And I don't know why this guy feels the need to be so noisy in the video. What are you doing? Are you okay? That's really weird. Okay. Then over here by the back deck window is the Uniden. I got this new in the box from eBay around, I think, September or something of last year. I don't remember exactly when. Sometime last year. I gotta say, this is one of my favorite phones as well. The handset is of course the same as the DWX207, just in this case, a different color, which I do like a bit better. And the base is water resistant and has some of the longest range of any cordless phone base for its size that I've ever used. Then finally, here in the kitchen, I have a Radio Shack made by Uniden. I believe the model is ET3577 or 43-3577. Yep. And this is basically the Radio Shack version of the Uniden, I believe is that model. And this is another of my favorite phones. It's been here for a long time. The antenna cover's missing. I do have it, it's just broken. I'll fix that someday. But this thing is amazing. The range, maybe not, but the display is quite nice, especially for a 900 megahertz phone. The base ringer has this incredible bright red flashing light. The handset has one too, but it's nothing compared to the base, of course. And just like the light, the handset ringtones are nothing compared to the base. It just has your regular flicker and clatter. I don't know why I just pressed flash there, but anyway. Oh yeah, also, all of the buttons are backlit, which is really nice on this phone. But for the base, it has a whole host of unique ringtones. I think there's only one other model out there that has anything like this, and that's the 5.8 gigahertz version, which has a full corded phone and speakerphone in the base, but I don't remember that model right now. So here are the ringtones on this thing. And I'll probably set it to number 2 for the phone's ringing video, because when you turn that all the way up, this thing is loud. It's my loudest phone. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now. It is just unbelievable. Then finally in the basement, I have 2 Panasonic phones. One is this KXTG EA20S, I believe is the model. Yep. Got this from the thrift store, along with, I think, at least one other, if not 2. And they didn't come with their original base, so I just registered this one to the KXTG 6841 upstairs, so I could have a phone in the basement during this time when my wireless phone jack system doesn't work. It broke, actually, not long after I got it, and I just haven't gotten around to putting another wireless phone jack down here. But anyway, this phone is basically the same as the KXTG EA40 handset, aside from 2 things. First, this, I think it's called a smart function key. It says noise reduction here, and it's blue, and the light for it, the backlight, can be both the regular button backlight, as you can see, as well as the same light as this top light here, so it can flash when the phone is ringing and when there's a new voicemail, which is kind of interesting. And then this also has the older ringtones, just like the KXTG KXTG A680 handsets. So that's a nice change from the KXTG EA40s that I'm used to, because my parents got a system including that model of handset, which was the KXTG E475S. We got that in 2018, and that was the main phone in the house up until I started collecting them about 2 years later. So this handset design definitely has a lot of memories with me, but it never was my favorite compared to the old ones. And I just like that the KXTG EA20 has the older ringtones. So anytime I find ones like this in the thrift store for a good price, like $2 a piece or less, I usually pick them up. And I find that the speakerphone sounds a lot better on the incoming audio than the KXTG EA40 speakerphone does. Then over here on top of one of my electronics workbenches is the last KXTG A680S I got at the thrift store. All three of them came as a set. And I have it right here behind the Bose Wave. This is the older one, I forget the model, but it's a neat little radio for sure. Definitely has better sound than you'd expect for a radio of its size. And I noticed that this handset's charging circuitry doesn't interfere with the radio, even on AM, so I thought this would be good to put there. So that is going to be it for this Telephones in the House video as of May 30th, 2026. My first ever Phones in the House video with 2 lines. So thanks very much for watching, and be sure to check out the phones ringing videos for both line 1 and line 2. And now I'm gonna go see if I can get the dog to calm down with a treat.